Number 4 thing in how to maximize your metabolic efficiency is something called intermittent fasting. Intermittent fasting is great. Essentially what it is, it's a consistent time where you fast, no food or calories in, and then you alternate that with a time period of feeding. That's where you do all your ingestion of calories and foods. So the purpose is really to challenge your metabolism so that it has to get to almost a starving point where it has to pull from stored energy beyond just the sugar that might be otherwise available in the blood. So it'll pull from muscles, it'll pull from just the glycogen from muscles, it'll pull from stored fat, liver, things like that. So not only does it help with that, but it also, believe it or not, it helps balance blood sugars. Now, I was taught professionally that you should eat every few hours to keep your blood sugars in balance. The problem with that is that you always have the sugar available, so your metabolism stays on a sugar-based metabolism, and you never get to this fat-burning metabolism. So the only way to really do that is to remove the sugar. So you got to stop eating for a set period of time. And we'll talk about what that looks like in a minute. But if you picture it this way, every one of those trillions of cells or stored energy, we have like little refrigerators everywhere with all the stored fat, which is just stored energy. So the more I go into the refrigerator to put food in to store away or to take food out to utilize, the better I get at doing that. So if I always have sugar available for my diet and I'm eating every few hours and it's always available, I never have to access that refrigerator. So the more I access that refrigerator, the better that door gets. My body's always adapting to what I'm throwing at, so it gets really good at opening and closing, storing, taking. That's a healthy metabolism. If I'm never pulling from the stored fat, if I'm never needing to do that, I get better at not doing that. And that's a very fixed, rigid metabolism. That's not a healthy place to be. Anything the body does needs to be adaptable and flexible. Anything that's not healthy usually stems from something rigid and inflexible. So hopefully that makes sense. It's just kind of a picture to put in your mind. So now to some of you this might seem radical concept. So as with anything that seems radical, I would always check with a physician that can work with you to make sure you're good to go on that, especially if you've been diagnosed with some kind of sugar, metabolic disease, diabetes 1 or 2 or what have you. But I found it to be very helpful even in those cases. So you definitely want to check with your physician if you're going to do something like that. So there's different formats of intermittent fasting, and anything from doing 1 or 2 days a week, the same day of the week every week. I do that periodically. I'll take a Monday and even though I go to work, I'll just not eat that day, just give my body that break. Because essentially I'm giving my organs just a day off so they can recover. And there's a lot of inflammatory components coming in from American diet. So this gives your body a chance just to kind of back off a little bit and recover. Or there could be a type of intermittent fasting is having 500 calories a couple days a week in a row. So you reduce the calorie intake and keep it, just less offensive, really clean foods, basic foods. I'm not a big fan of that one. My favorite is the 18-6, which means 18 hours of fasting, 6 hours of feeding. So typically, you might feed from noon to about 7, maybe 11 to 6, something like that. You have a 6-hour time of feeding, 2 or maybe even 3 meals. And then no snacking at night, you go to bed, next day you wake up and you're not eating, no calories. Maybe some black coffee or unsweetened tea or stevia if you need to use some kind of sweetener, and you don't eat until lunchtime. Yeah, you're gonna have some hunger, but you start to train your metabolism in this daily cycle to expect that. And what ends up happening, you start to train your body to pull from stored energy, stored fat, to keep your day going. It's at first a little uncomfortable because the hunger and things, you learn to deal with the hunger, knowing that you're doing your body a good thing. And I just have more energy when I'm doing it, and I've been doing that for a while now. So that's my 2 cents on that.